July 21st, you'll be here before you know it. Find out why a former governor and so many others are traveling long distances to honor David Walker Harwell. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on the Distinguished Citizens Award Banquet to be held Thursday, July 21st at the Dunes Golf and Beach Club. And we're visiting with Representative Alan Clemmons of Myrtle Beach. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning. It's good to be with you.
Thanks
Greg.
so much for getting in.
Oh, my pleasure. This early in the morning, but we're happy to be up.
On a Friday to be up and get
Absolutely.
your day started so you can get out for a big weekend with your girls.
That's right.
This is a lot still to happen between now and the 21st, less than 2 weeks to get ready.
Well, a lot to happen. A lot has happened to get us to this point.
Absolutely. You know, we think about honorees from all over the area that you could single out, and of course there's so many folks, so many amazing volunteers, folks that have been associated with scouting throughout the PD Area Council, and I failed to mention you're also the president of the PD Area Council and very active as a volunteer for, is it an 11 county council?
It's an 11 county scout council, yes. And I'm honored to be a part of it. Scouting has such a rich history in Horry County and throughout the PD. And I'm glad to be a part of that history, and it's just wonderful to be involved in scouting today.
Did you grow up in scouting, Alan?
I did. I grew up in scouting right here, Troop 855 out of Myrtle Beach.
Is that right?
I sure did, and some of my fondest memories are of scouting as a youth.
And of course, in the summertime in scouting, I suspect a lot of the troops, 855 included, were probably heading out to where most of our viewers are in the PD, up to Camp Coker in the summer.
Absolutely. I just had a brief visit at Camp Coker this past week, and it brings back such fond memories. If one was involved in scouting in Horry or Florence or Marion counties,
sure,
they have a fond recollection of Camp Coker, located up in
Chesterfield County. Absolutely.
That's right.
All, you know, societal. It's amazing when you think about so many of these counties. Probably be difficult to name all 11 counties, but you've got volunteers throughout, scoutmasters and scouts of all levels that have been committed for so many years. I guess the PD Area Council's been around, what, 75 years, celebrated recently?
Just celebrated our 75th anniversary. As a matter of fact, Camp Coker itself was founded in the mid-20s. So we really have a rich heritage of scouting here in the PD.
When you see some of those other volunteers active with you on the board, and of course you think, we're talking about a Distinguished Citizens Award Banquet for Chicora, just O'Ree. And of course, to know there are Distinguished Citizens Award Banquets on a regular basis or have been annually in the PD area, and the opportunity to have them and to recognize so many of the volunteers as we talk about in both areas, both here on the Strand and the PD and throughout. You could have one probably every month and still not touch all the volunteers.
We have such wonderful people who have given so much of themselves for this area, for South Carolina. Our honoree this year, we're just delighted to be able to honor the person who is being honored, former Chief Justice David Harwell. He, like there are so many others, you're correct, that exemplify what we teach in scouting, and that is to arise to the level of character that you give back to your fellow man. Judge Harwell just is a great mentor for youth and a good example to look at. And there are so many people like that have been involved in scouting, and outside of scouting in this area.
Alan, are there still some seats available for the banquet? Is there an opportunity for viewers? I'm sure they could probably call the main scout office.
There are, Greg. We've been very blessed, and the committee that's helping to put the event together, they've been very successful in reaching out and inviting members of the community, yourself including Greg, to be an important part of this event, and we are quickly selling out our seats and tables. But we do have a few tables left, and we'd like to invite anybody that's interested to give us a call, and we'll be happy to reserve a table or a seat for you.
Absolutely. Is there a great number to call? Is that the number for the PD Area Council?
Well, actually, I have a local number to call.
Great.
916-9988.
Okay.
916-9988. that will call into my office, and we'll be happy to take any seat or table reservations.
That's fantastic. And of course, to know so many of those dollars, if virtually not all the dollars, be reinvested into the PD Area Council, reinvested into scouting opportunities, where will some of those dollars be expended, Alan, when we think about that?
They will be invested right here in the PD. So many of those dollars go towards scholarshiping youth to be involved in scouting, to take a part in the character building that scouting is all about. They will provide scholarships to youth to go to camp, to summer camp. It will provide opportunities in scouting. When we think scouting, so many times we think of the outdoor camping experience, which I recall so many of in my youth. And that is still certainly a big part of scouting, but there's more to scouting than that. We have in-school programs where we're helping children that need assistance in school. We're helping less advantaged children rise to their top levels of performance. Many schools that we're partnering with are so happy to have the scouting experience in their students' lives. We're all about teaching. We are a teaching organization. Mostly it's about teaching character. And we will do that in the field, we'll do that in the woods, we'll do that in school, or wherever we can.
Golly, Alan, it's amazing to think. And of course, this is virtually everyone that's involved in scouting is involved on a volunteer basis. You know, there are a handful of folks that travel around, obviously paid staff that help to make sure within the districts, within the individual districts, within the entire PD Area Council, that they're operating smoothly, that the manuals and otherwise are put in front of the volunteers. But you've got a tremendous amount of volunteers on a daily basis, literally year-round, that are making sure scouting is going to perform at a top level.
And thank heavens for the volunteers. Scouting is built upon a backbone of volunteers. Here in Horry County, in Florence County, Williamsburg, throughout the entire PD area, you can see so many dedicated volunteers that haven't been doing this for a year, haven't been doing this for 2 years, but have been doing this for their whole adult life. And it makes such a tremendous difference to the youth that they serve.
Wow, Alan, speaking of all the activities going on year-round, you know, we think about your position and, of course, the activities for you. I think it was just a year and a half, 2 years ago, you were with us, and you at that time were chair of the Freshman Caucus, real active, kicking off your first involvement there in the South Carolina House of Representatives. A lot's been happening in the last couple of years. Of course, we can talk about I-73. I think you recently got back from a trip to China, and that's not China, South Carolina. That's another part of the world, actually.
Yes, serving in the General Assembly has been a rich blessing. It has allowed me to get to know a lot of people that I never would have had the chance to know, and at times to affect some good for my constituents and the people of South Carolina. I did just return this past week from a visit to Taiwan, Republic of China. South Carolina has a great deal of investment from Taiwan in this state. And I was pleased to be a part of a 4-member South Carolina delegation to visit Taiwan. We were invited by the Taiwanese government to come and visit. You could say it was a taxpayer-paid trip, but the taxpayers of Taiwan paid for the trip. So
that's always
a good thing.
Yeah.
And while I was there, I had the chance to meet several heads of industry based in Taiwan that have investments here in South Carolina. Yangming Shipping was one that does a great deal of shipping out of the ports here in South Carolina, and they're looking at expanding their shipping operation in South Carolina. So we were pleased to visit with the folks at Yangming and to offer our assistance and while they are investing here in the state. And there were others. It was really a rewarding experience for not just me personally, but I think for South Carolina.
Absolutely, and the other members of the delegation that attended. You know, when we think about other areas investing a lot, we think about investing in South Carolina. Obviously, I-73 comes up, all the thoughts of investing. I saw in the Herald last week, Jack Thompson was in Michigan recently, seated next to the governor of Michigan, and had an opportunity to talk to her about the needs to make sure this idea of Myrtle Beach to St. Marie or wherever it is in Michigan that the I-73 will terminate, the opportunity of making sure that on both sides of I-73, folks understand the huge investments in each of those states that'll happen.
Myrtle Beach to Sault Ste. Marie. It's not just an idea. It's not just a sign of future I-73 on the highway that we saw for so many years. It's a project that is nearing reality. It is reaching reality. And by our picking up that ball in South Carolina and working hard as a community to obtain financing and to create that interstate corridor throughout South Carolina, it's exciting the other states. Yes, thank you, Jack Thompson, for being in Michigan. That kind of excitement in South Carolina is creating an excitement throughout those states where I-73 has been an idea for a long time. But now they're saying that it can become a reality in their states as well.
And you're feeling good about it, Alan. I know you and Brad, I think the treasurer of the I-73 Association, and the Dr. Hayes over in Dillon, and so many others that have been active in the I-73 Association to make it happen. Y'all are feeling good. I mean, it's not just the 4 of y'all or 5 of y'all. There's a grassroots support that's happening throughout our viewing area, the PD and southeastern North Carolina even.
Greg, that's what's taken us so far in this project, is the community grassroots support. It's taken us to the point that we are in Congress now prepared to receive significant funding, designation and funding of the project as a project of national significance, which puts us ahead of many other highway projects throughout the nation in terms of funding. So we are excited. We're excited for a reason, and that reason is I-73 is going to happen here in South Carolina.
That's exciting. And I know a heck of a lot of folks in this area are excited that folks like yourself and the entire delegation, both Democrats and Republicans, folks have crossed the aisle to make sure that there's in concert the Northeastern Strategic Alliance, the folks here on this part of the state, the 10 or 12 counties that represents, are really making sure that everyone speaks in a unified voice.
The Northeast Strategic Alliance has been instrumental in getting us to the point where we are today. I have the pleasure of serving as vice chair of the I-73 committee within NISA, with Doug Jennings serving as chair. Working with Doug has been a wonderfully rewarding experience, and working with all the members of NISA that are so excited about the I-73 project. It's just so rewarding, Greg, to be able to start with a project and to see the momentum build to the point that things really start happening. And again, it's not because of one person, it's because of a whole community.
Absolutely. Speaking of the community, I know the community's gotten very excited recently to hear the big news about a new Scout executive hired for the PD Area Council. I think it just came out maybe last week or the week before, but a heck of a lot went into that. What exactly is a Scout executive? What is their role within the PD Area Council, and how will that impact the volunteers?
Well, just like any other organization or any other corporation, you need a head. You need a chief executive officer of that organization. It's like that with Scouting as well. In the PD Area Council, the 11 County Council, we have a chief executive officer position that has been vacant now for some months. We have completed an exhaustive search for the right person to fit in the PD Area Council, and we have found that person. We have hired a gentleman, a Mr. Heyer, out of Missouri.
Great.
He is an Annapolis graduate, served many years in the Navy, and then he went from the Navy into professional scouting. He will serve this area by being our chief executive officer, by assisting us with scouting throughout the PD to see that the programs are happening, that kids are being served, that youth are being served in the way that scouting wants to serve youth.
That's exciting, Alan. That's a big move.
It is exciting.
You know, obviously our big focus is on the DCA, the Distinguished Citizens Award Banquet, to be held Thursday, July 21st. Again, less than 2 weeks away. Can you break down a typical evening, a typical Distinguished Citizens Award Banquet, to give viewers a sense of, if they're not there Thursday the 21st, what they're going to be missing? And if they are there, have an opportunity to call, I think you said the 916-9988 number. If they call the 843-916-9988 number to find out if there are any more tickets available, either over the weekend or next week as we get ready for the event. What's the evening going to be like? Do you have some folks speaking? Will there be some scouts involved? What's it like?
Greg, if we have any viewers out there in the audience that have ever been in scouting, have ever had a scouting experience, have ever had a youth in scouting, and they don't take advantage of this opportunity, they're missing a great opportunity in their life. Yes, they will see scouts there. They will see scouts being honored and scouts honoring others. They will see a great person, Judge Harwell, being honored as a distinguished citizen. This is a special honor in scouting. Not everybody receives a Distinguished Citizen Award. It's a special honor that's held back for one special person every year within an area. That person this year is Judge Harwell. We will hear former Governor Beasley.
Is that right? How exciting.
Former Governor Beasley will be there to share with us some words in reflection on Judge Harwell.
Great.
We may have some surprise speakers there as well. That I can't divulge the identity of today.
Yeah.
Anybody that has ever had a connection to scouting, you'll be missing a great opportunity if you're not with us on the 21st. Anyone that has ever had a relationship with Judge Harwell, who is a great person, they will be missing a great opportunity to honor Judge Harwell by not being there.
Absolutely.
Please call us.
Okay.
916-9988.
Who's a viewer going to want to ask for if they call that number? Would they be able to reach you? This is your law
Very
firm?
possibly. Ask for me, and if I'm not there, I will call you back.
That's great. Someone will have some critical information. Obviously, it's so important. You know, it's difficult to give out a number because you never know who you're going to reach, but at the same time, at least asking for you the opportunity to get in touch with you as President of PD Area Council. I mean, again, the 11 County Council, this is one of the 11 counties, the focus. I assume there'll be a Distinguished Citizens Award banquet. I think there has been on a regular basis throughout the PD Area Council.
There has, generally in the Florence area. This is the first time we've done it in the Horry County area.
Right. But it's
been
for
quite some time.
It's for the entire area, though.
That's
Everyone
correct.
is invited to
Oh,
attend.
absolutely.
Folks
All of
can
you
come
in the
down,
audience.
and of course, that's a great way to come on down on a Thursday, spend the night, make it an extended weekend. Go ahead and take Friday off and make it a extended weekend to be down here and support the
All for the
PD Area
cause of
Council.
scouting.
Absolutely. You know, when you think about growing up in scouting and so many activities, Alan, what were some of those things that stick out in your mind from the early trips? Let's say trips to Camp Coker or events from Troop 855. Are there some of the summertime activities or otherwise year-round? Did you ever travel? I think Boy Scouts has big events throughout the country or other camps throughout the country. Were you that active?
Well, I certainly always wanted to go to Philmont. Philmont is it is the optimum scout camp. Philmont's in New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the Cimarron Mountains. I have never been there.
Oh.
I still hold out hopes of being there someday. But yes, that is the cream of the crop of camping in scouting. My youth scouting experience was mostly centered around Camp Coker. And the biggest memory at Camp Coker has to be in that body of water right in the middle of the camp, the lake at Camp Coker. When I talk to scouting volunteers throughout the nation, and we talk about camps, compare notes on camps, they're all amazed that we have a lake that is so clean that our scouts can swim in it. And it's a rarity. We have a beautiful lake that we swim and boat in, and even today, and great memories swimming in that lake, jumping off the dock into that cold water.
Is that right, Alan? How exciting. You know, we got about 5 minutes. When you think about viewers in the summertime, they think about so many of the scout activities happening during the school year because some of the curriculum is often tied in that mindset of the school curriculum and parents taking nights off to be there on a volunteer basis. What are some of the things that a viewer could be involved in during the year? What are some of the functions if they've never been involved in scouting, but they want to get involved to help grow young men and even young women now in the area through explorers and otherwise? I think there's some other aspects to tie in. What could a viewer do during the school year or in the summertime to be involved on a volunteer basis?
There are many volunteer opportunities within the troops and the packs to volunteer your time and you don't have to be a scoutmaster. You don't
Really?
have to be
Great.
a cub master in order to volunteer. You can be a member of the support group supporting that pack or that den.
Right.
By just being there to give the scoutmaster support, by helping take the kids on their trips, camping trips and so forth. There's so many opportunities there. Yes, if you want to go to camp with the youth during their week of summer camp, that's another great opportunity. I always enjoyed going to camp with the youth. My employers always thought it magnanimous of me that I was willing to take a week and take youth to Camp Coker. Little did they understand it was a wonderful vacation for me.
More fun for you than
That's
them.
right.
That's right. Yeah.
But there are many, many opportunities, and the same number that I just left. If any of the viewers are interested in volunteer experiences with scouting,
Right.
I'd be delighted to speak to them.
Great. The 843-916-9988.
That's correct.
That's great. You know, you think about so many activities, and of course, you think about even now, and I know we talked about this before we started the film, and I think I remember it was a year and a half or so ago when you were with us where you were talking about some experiences, little signs you'd give your girls, you know, in activities, and I think there was also a ring they got at a certain age. How are things going with your daughters? Are they still wearing the rings?
Well, that was a couple of years ago. My girls are now 9 years old and 14 years old,
that right?
respectively. And yes, what we talked about, if you'll recall, is a little catchphrase, choose the right, CTR. And yeah, when they turned 7, they got a little ring that had a CTR on it, choose the right. So Mom and Dad can't always be there, so it's good to have a little reminder on your finger.
Yeah. That's exciting. You know, when you think about some of those activities where you're thinking about your own childhood and activities up at Coker, and then you begin reflecting, obviously, back here, you think there's so many activities within scouting and the importance to make sure to keep focus on the right things there. It's just so it's so difficult to think about the incredible amount of time that is involved not only in keeping up your full-time legal practice, but obviously also commuting to Columbia on a regular basis, as well as maintaining your presidency as of the PD Area Council. How do you find the time, Alan? What do you do to make sure that you manage your time properly?
Greg, it's a balancing act that I could only perform with the help of a good supportive wife and family and good supportive support staff in my own office and back in Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I make it happen. I just have good people helping me to get to everywhere I need to be.
That's tremendous, Alan. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. We're excited about the 21st. Look forward to seeing you there.
I'm excited about it. Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Representative Alan Clemmons coming up next. The focus is July 21st. It's a big date. It's getting close. We got less than 2 weeks. The phone number's simple, 843-916-9988. But it's not just days like July 21st. The reception kicks off at 6. The dinner's at 7. Tickets are all for Boy Scouting, all for scouting. Those funds will be reinvested in the area. You've got to take the time to make that call, 916-9988. Again, it's not all about that date. It's about all year long volunteer opportunities. Scouting is a prime focus of many, but it serves of a heck of a lot more. There's so many youth that need scouting. They may not be able to afford it. Some of these dollars will be expended in your home county. If it's Darlington or Dillon or Chesterfield, those same dollars will be reinvested from that Thursday night's event and so many other events during the year. Call that number, 843-916-9988. You know, you think about the experiences in the mind of former Chief Justice David Harwell, of his first trip to Camp Coker in his youth. Those same memories of former Governor David Beasley will be there that night on Thursday, July 21st. You can be a part of that. You can be a part of that. You got to call that number, but think about their experiences at Camp Coker, much like Alan Clemmons' experiences at Camp Coker, being up there, being in that pond. Those are experiences only folks that attend Camp Coker can experience. You've got to take the time to give them a call, 843-916-9988. Be involved in scouting. Attend the dinner. Get involved as a volunteer. We need your help.